these women that I realized what all women entrepreneurs have as a similar belief in what success is that they're able to design their life, right? That success is arriving at a place where you control your time. And this idea of empowering women, and I've always had this belief, you give women the same earning potential and the same money that men have, and we will have power.
What happens when women stop waiting for permission and start building movements of their own? This is She Means Business. A podcast created for women building real legacies. Here, stories meet strategy. We spotlight the people behind the brands, the decisions behind the success, and the lessons you can actually use. You will learn tools, resources, and honest conversations from founders, leaders, and visionaries shaping what business looks like now. If you're building something that matters, you are in the right place. Welcome to She Means Business. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the She Means Business magazine podcast. My name is Jacqueline Andrea. I am the publisher of She Means Business. And you guys, you should know that we have our third issue of She Means Business magazine is out and about. Please go check it out. Tell us how you feel about it, what you think about it. It's She Means Business mag.com. And today's conversation goes beyond business. We are going to talk about leadership, legacy, visibility, and the power of creating spaces where women are seen, heard, and supported. She's an attorney, a speaker, producer, and the force behind powerful initiatives supporting women through storytelling, media, and advocacy, including the Wrestle Her movement, supporting women's wrestling and empowerment. Please welcome Renee Marie Smith. Hello.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and give a voice to so many women, especially the women of Wrestle Her. And I am thrilled to be here and meet everybody in your audience.
And we want you to be comfortable in this conversation. So I love that you're here. Welcome. I love that you said yes to this invitation. Thank you for the opportunity. And I want you to introduce yourself to those that might not know who you are.
Well, and that's great. And I do appreciate this opportunity because my name is Renee Marie Smith. I'm founder of Trending50. But that's kind of scratches the surface of how my story starts. I'm a 30-year attorney. I've been an advocate for the underdog for a very long time. It really became my passion. And as part of that, I became an entrepreneur in my own right. I have my own firm. And what I began to see is that through being an entrepreneur, I was able to find empowerment for myself. And what I did 10 years ago, because Trending50 is now coming up on its 10-year anniversary, is decide that I wanted to help and support other women understand the importance of an entrepreneurial mindset. And I'm going to use that difference because, a lot of times we think that an entrepreneur is someone who has their own business, and it is someone who has their own business.
Right.
But in order to get ahead in a big corporation or a corporate structure, you still have to think like an entrepreneur. It's very important to differentiate yourself. You always wonder how everyone starts at the same level and one of them becomes CEO.
Right.
He's an entrepreneur.
Huh.
And I believe that sharing with women how to utilize not only our God-given ability for empathy and caring, and that's really important in the business world, but also curating in yourself the entrepreneurial mindsets in order to differentiate yourself and find creative solutions to everyday business problems. So when Trending50 was founded, we originally became just a voice and advocate for showing women where they could go to get resources for themselves, to educate themselves on being and thinking like an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Then what happened is about 8 years ago, I traveled the country and interviewed 50 entrepreneurs in 5 different cities. And these women were amazing. It was amazing to have conversations with all of them because some of them, one was Serena Williams' caterer, And another woman was a successful entrepreneur because her jewelry business, she could run it out of her second bedroom and be home when her daughters came home from school.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
And it was through that experience of interviewing so many of these women that I realized what all women entrepreneurs have as a similar belief in what success is that they're able to design their life. Right? That success is arriving at a place where you control your time and that you can allocate your time.
So true. So true. And I love the way you say it and the way you expose it, because it is very important to know that, yes, that we know as an entrepreneur, the person that owns a business. Yes. But what you said is so important to recognize, because it is that entrepreneurial mind that will take you places. And that can happen whenever you're very young. So you can show those skills whenever you're very young. I love this, Renee. I love it.
And it's the true basis of empowerment. You know, one of the things that happened around the time Trending50 was opened was the Me Too movement and this idea of empowering women. And I've always had this belief, you give women the same earning potential and the same money that men have, and we will have power. And the ability and the mindset to generate wealth and income for yourself. Again, whether you're within a company and you're able to fight for that raise and know how to ask for the raise because you have ideas that are moving the company forward.
Personal branding, people. Personal branding.
Exactly. Or you run your own company and through creative mindsets find a niche in the marketplace that nobody else has filled. And so Trending50, we came off that series and really found that we wanted to do a movie. We really wanted to be able to encapsulate the excitement that we were able to capture, no matter what the culture, because remember, how people think in New York is different than Miami and different than LA, but the fact that we found so many similarities in how these female entrepreneurs wanted to operate and empower their lives through first control of their income and then developing how to increase their wealth, that we did a movie. It's called A Certain Woman. It's now out on Apple Plus and Prime, and it follows a female entrepreneur for a week. Okay. And one of the fascinating things about the movie, and I don't want to, obviously, I want everyone to go to Amazon, go watch it.
Don't give it away, all of it.
But each day we talk about a different issue that women face. And I think, you know, men and women want equality, so we also recognize men have issues in the workforce.
Right, yeah.
But I'm a woman, I don't understand their issues, so I can make a movie.
Plus, I do not want to understand it. How about that?
So, you know, so the movie's out now, and then it became space for Trending50 to get involved in another project, which is why we got behind Wrestle Her. Oh. And the reason that because everyone's going to say, well, how is it that female wrestling, high school female wrestling at that, has anything to do with entrepreneurial mindset?
Right, yeah.
I mean, how did you make that leap? Well, it was really easy. I played sports my whole life, even at the college level. And what I found was what you learn, the discipline of practice, the overcoming failure. I mean, there's only one person who walks off the field a winner. You know, you have to learn how to take the lessons of loss and apply them, not just to your mindset, but how you go back to the workout room, how you go back to the practice field to overcome what you've learned you're deficient in because of being against good challengers. And that's the third thing I've learned from wanting to be an athlete, being an athlete and supporting athletes is, you know, you want to be against strong competition.
Okay.
Even as an entrepreneur, because it makes you better. If you always are against a weak opponent, you never build strength.
Right. Even
mental strength on how to create a better product, a more competitive product, see the market, see your niche better. And that's athletics. You know, one of the things that happens, you play so many games or so many matches, and you have different levels of competition, and you have to prepare yourself for each of those levels. So that is the building and the cornerstone of all the entrepreneurial mindsets that Trending50 has been talking about and filming and putting out there on social media for almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years, and we're going to talk about that. And you know, I think it's very interesting because we have a section in our magazine that is called Sports Highlight Her, and it highlights women in sports. And we notice that there is a big it's definitely something that women in sports bring into business that, well, first of all, how focused they are, right? Because they know, what time they start, and they're very, very good with that, with schedules, and then also the teamwork. When it comes to teamwork, we notice that it's something that they're built for. They've been training their whole entire lives, most of them for, and now you're talking about this, and I found it fascinating, and I'm sure you as a sportswoman and also an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, you brought it as well into your business.
Well, and that's, and you raise a really good point, because especially when you're at the high school or college level, you don't always get to pick your teammates. Right? When you own your own business, you get to hire your own employees. But, and what the foundation of learning to work with personalities or people that you may not choose, but you work with anyways. And in order to win that match, win that game, be the high scoring person on the basketball court, you have to be able to be and work within the team. Like Michael Jordan, talks about there's 5 people on that court. He could be a superstar all he wanted, but he couldn't win every game.
Right.
And you learn that as an athlete. And so coming out and in support of this project, because female wrestling is the fastest growing sport in America, men's and women's. And just this year, we're in 2026. Just this year, Nevada has sanctioned high school wrestling for girls.
Oh, wow.
For next year.
Long.
For next year. Not even, so yes. And what does that mean? Well, first off, in order for women to get equal access to training facilities, to scholarships, to all these things, they have to be sanctioned. There has to be a place on the mat, so to speak, for them to be recognized on their own, because normally what it is they're just an offshoot of the men's program. Well, Title IX, which of course is the federal guidelines that requires and mandates colleges give equal support to the women's sports, is coming up to its 51st anniversary, easy for me to say, in June. And we're still fighting this fight.
Wow.
I mean, just in Nevada, it's 51 years later. And trust me, there was men's wrestling in Nevada 50 years ago.
And what do you think, why do you think it's taking them this long?
Well, there's some obvious reasons. I think it's not a sexy female sport. You think of volleyball or, baseball or one of the traditional ones. It's always been a very male-dominated sport.
Yeah.
There was initially, of course, there was fewer women who participated, but because of the resistance for schools and states to recognize the sport in the 90s, and you'll see this, I posted a clip today on my Instagram, which is Renee Marie Smith, ESQ. It talks about one of the coaches who we're flying in, by the way, and I'll get to that event we're having the end of this month, and she can talk about it when she's here in Vegas in person. When she was a wrestler in the 90s, she had to wrestle boys.
Wow, was that even...
Exactly, and she goes in, and she was going into how difficult that was.
Right.
Because men are just made different, and their hormones are different. And so this has really been a silent women's fight, which I find really... and that's why Trending50 is behind this. I think whenever I, as the founder of Trending50, come upon an inequality, especially for 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, right? Yeah. In 2026, I want to shine a light on it. I believe people don't know, like you. You're surprised to hear.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
And, one of the wonderful things about shining a light on this, especially here in Las Vegas, is the mayor has come out in support of the UNLV women's wrestling team. I know your magazine did a wonderful article. Please go and read. They've had a very successful year, and you pointed out how they are entrepreneurs. They're building it themselves, right? That they had to actually do a club. That it's not actually part of the university's, Division I program yet. Yeah. And that's because Nevada hadn't sanctioned the high schools. And the mayor was so great. She taped a clip because she can't be there in person on the 26th, which we're going to play, so you have to come. And talking about how proud she is that Nevada did that. And that how there are people coming out like the wrestler Her miniseries.
So there's a lot of support now, which is
huge, because
amazing.
women's wrestling, because it's the fastest growing, and I'll get into why I believe it is one of the fastest growing, as well as the fact that, it went from hundreds of women participating to now we're over 500,000 women. High school level are participating in the sports, especially here out west. And what we've seen now, money drives what gets supported. There's no other way around it. It's kind of how I led with this interview was give women the same amount of money and you'll find equality. Well, it's exactly what's happening here. If we look at what's going on in women's basketball and how now with Caitlin Clark and Reese and all these women who are getting and demanding decent sponsorships and the viewership is up,
equality.
Right? Well, now you're going to see a lot more money at the high school and college level of basketball because you need to have the athletes to funnel in. Well, now you have women's boxing is taking off, women's UFC,
we're taking
WWE,
over, guys.
Right? And there's a value to it, and women want to be in these sports. And so what you're finding is the development of a pipeline for women to find a professional career at doing these sports. And with that, it's a raising awareness for girls to say, I want to do this, and go to the school and say, I want you to sanction it. And this is where the groundswell, and your introduction was amazing about women advocating for themselves. And I'm so proud of, especially the girls that are in this series, about how they advocated at their high school that I want to do this. I want you to sanction this. I want to come out in support of this sport. I want to play it in high school and in college and then go on into where the career can take me. And so Trending50 is so proud of this project. It's an 11-part miniseries, right? And it's due out on Documentary Plus this summer. Again, can I go into the event now?
Yes, we're going to get into the event. I do have so many questions popping up my head. I almost feel that we need like a 2-hour episode of you only. So we're going to make a quick pause right here. We'll be back. Thank you to our partners who make these conversations possible. We are back, you guys. I am Jacqueline Andrew. I'm the publisher of She Means Business magazine, and I want to show you our baby. It's our May issue. It's already out, and guess who's on the cover? It's Miss Lisa and Gabriel Gunderson. And I want you guys to go into this magazine and give it a read because there's so many great articles on how women entrepreneurs can shine in this amazing industry in Las Vegas. And now we have Seattle, we have Orange County, and of course, Guatemala. So please go ahead and read it. And today I have here Renee Marie Smith, and she is talking to us about Trending50 and how she's been supporting the movement of women wrestling. And we're going to get into the event that is coming up. Tell us about it.
Well, this is really exciting because, of course, as we talked about in the first half, we had released a movie a few years ago, so we were focusing on this. And so now we're bringing to the Las Vegas Valley May 26th at the Autonomous Hotel, a wonderful venue, by the way. We're flying in the coach and we're flying in the director. We're going to screen part of one. Like I said, it's an 11-part series. We're going to screen some of the series and then do a Q&A as to, how this project got started, the impact that it's having, why we're out here voicing support for women's sports, girls' sports, and how important that is to the Vegas Valley. Because as we also talked about in the first half, Nevada is new to the sanctioning of
it's getting adjusted.
women's wrestling. And so we, as Trending50, our team wants to support that here in Nevada and the women. And so we are donating part of there is a ticket. The ticket price is $50. You can go to Eventbrite and buy it. We are making a donation to women's sports here in the Valley on top. But, come on out. Food, drinks covered by the ticket, as well as another exciting part of it. We are launching Entrepreneur Box.
That sounds amazing. And so we were talking behind the scenes about this box, and definitely we want to shine a light on this because I know it's a new baby and you're going to be launching it during this event.
Exactly. So the inaugural box is coming out Ironically, I had come up with this and patented this about 7 years ago when I was traveling around the country and interviewing all these amazing women. And what the box is, it's a subscription box. It will be the official launch for subscription holders will be in September. But every product in that box is a local female entrepreneur trying to get a platform for her business. And so by being part of the box and buying the box at the event, it's free, part of the ticket. If you get it for free, so that's a good deal. You will find that within the box there are local Vegas female entrepreneurs that want you to hear about their product, that want you to support their business. We find that as we go into the marketplace, women are out there providing products that are available and as the same quality. Nobody's asking you to give up quality in what you choose, whatever product, whether it's a service or, a physical product. We just ask that you consider working with a female entrepreneur, and this is a really great way to give them a platform. So right now we have 7 women who are going to be highlighted in the box. That is part of the ticket price. Everyone gets to take a box with them when they go to sample these women's products and hopefully support their businesses. And then after this event on May 26th, it's going to be from 6 to 8 at the Autonomous Hotel. We are also doing events in New York, LA, and Miami. And also giving out the sample boxes there, because I believe that the way Trending 50 is going to make a difference, we don't preach the message to people. We highlight what people don't know or aren't aware of. And just like I was sharing with you earlier, you weren't aware that women's wrestling hadn't been recognized in the state of Nevada.
And it's part of education, right? It's part of educating people about what's going on, and especially women in sports. I feel that for all of us that didn't know about it, it's very, to me, it's enlightening to hear more about it and see how we can support. And, this magazine is built by women entrepreneurs, and I feel that collaborating and getting this together, I feel that we can put the word out there even more and louder.
Of course, and the big thing too is that's exactly what the Entrepreneur Box is.
Yes.
Highlighting women, because it's hard when you have your own business and you've got to make the product,
Tell me
market the
about
product, figure out social media, pay all the bills, and then live your life, right? You still have to pay your personal bills. You may be married, have kids, there's a lot to juggle. And so if we're able to help these female entrepreneurs by highlighting them with other successful female entrepreneurs, whatever level your business is. It's like I started, when we were doing the 50 and the 50 series, and we were interviewing these women at all levels of, whether you were catering to the stars or making jewelry for the, fashion show.
There were all levels of entrepreneurs.
They were all successful at what they set out to achieve for themselves.
Okay.
And so with that, every woman in this box is successful.
I love that.
And what we're doing is helping solidify her success, that it can be a lifetime journey for her.
Giving them another platform, which is beautiful.
With other women who are successful, because it's kind of the concept of, I know most of us, there's still, I guess, outdoor malls, but malls, right? That you're going to find when you take this box, there's some products that you may have used before, but you might find, oh wow, I've been looking for this, didn't know there was someone locally offering it or making it.
Yeah.
I mean, so with having multiple entrepreneurs within the same box, the tide rises all boats.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the goal, so the whole event on the 26th at Autonomous Hotel is about coming back to Trending 50's core mission, supporting female entrepreneurism at its basic level through shining a light on where women are not equal, giving the how you can help change that, and then giving female entrepreneurs a voice.
Yeah.
And through that, on the 26th, you're going to see these amazing female athletes who have pioneered a new sport that is now the fastest growing sport in the country. You're going to meet women that are in this entrepreneur box that have started an entrepreneur journey and that they are deserving of our support because they are wonderful, not only people, but offer great products
Yeah.
that are local, that you
Yeah.
can drive down the street and buy. And
I love that.
And the last piece is, if all of us collectively come together, men and women, because we want men at the event,
Yeah, of course.
right? We can make things better for our community, for everyone who's in the community.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I applaud every single movement that supports women in general, but specifically women entrepreneurs, because as you already mentioned, it's hard already to be seen, especially in this very noisy world. And how can people, so you mentioned that it's going to be a subscription base for the clients, right? So there's going to be subscribers, but how can women entrepreneurs be part of this box in the future?
So our website will be live by May 26th.
Okay.
So female entrepreneurs who are interested in participating in the box can go and contact us through the box, the contact on the site, to say that they're interested in finding out more about how they can participate. And like I said, right now we're going back to the cities where we taped, except for Las Vegas. I did not tape here the 50 and the 50,
What?
so we may have to correct that one.
A sequel.
But these women will have then an opportunity to be seen not just in the
Okay.
Vegas Valley,
Yeah.
but also in LA, Miami, and New York.
So this box is going to all these other states.
Yes, it'll be in these other cities.
Are there
Correct.
other people from these other cities also that are coming to this event and participating in this as
Not
well?
here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
We are setting up different events to promote also Wrestle
okay.
Her. So similar. So Vegas is the
Similar.
first. We are
Okay.
the first year we're starting here, and then like you said, it looks like it's going to be probably New York, Miami, and then LA this summer,
Ooh,
which would be
that's big.
wonderful. So yeah, the website will be up and running for, like I said, female entrepreneurs who are interested. They can
Yeah.
contact us there. It's entrepreneurbox.club is the
Okay.
website. If you're interested in a ticket for May 26th, you can go to my Instagram, which is Renee Marie Smith, ESQ. Tickets available in the link. Or you can go to Eventbrite. It's Trending50 Las Vegas event. If you put that in the search bar, it will also come up.
So everyone is invited to the event, right? But is there any specific demographic that we're going to see more in that event?
No, I mean, one of the things that I've really liked about the support that's come out for this event is across all of us. Well, first off, my father had 5 children. 4 were girls. He said it was never into women's lib until he had 4 girls, right? And there's a lot of fathers out there that have daughters who play high school sports,
Yeah.
and they want to see that the equipment for those sports are at the same level as the equipment for the boys' sports. They don't want their daughters getting hurt because there's lesser funding for that sport. They want to know that if their daughter has been disciplined for the 4 years she's in high school and she's become a successful athlete, she gets to go to a university where the equipment at that university
Right.
is equal to the boys, so that she's safe and not hurt.
Absolutely.
And she can move forward to the career. So, men are just as supportive. Everybody has a mother, right?
Yeah.
Or a sister or a daughter who can relate. So the people coming out in support of this event are hearing what we're sharing, which is this isn't about wanting more, right? We just want our space so that we can create and grow and become not only good people, but successful
Yeah.
women. Because my post on Instagram this morning, I said the women that are in this show, Wrestle Her, will be our future congresswomen, our
Yeah.
mayors, our CEOs, our leaders in our community, because of what they learned through sports.
Absolutely.
And it's not just this sport, it's women's basketball,
In
whatever.
general.
Communities should be supporting the kind of mindset that being an athlete develops.
Absolutely.
And so as part of that, yes, I think what you're going to see is a really diverse crowd of people who want to get behind the sports, the most specifically female sports here in the Valley, because this really is supporting the Valley. Though Trending50 is national, though the box will be national, our events are for the local, really the local, because change happens one person at a time, one street at a time, one community at a time. So Trending50, it's why I traveled when I did the interviews. It's why I traveled to do these events. Because if I want to help women, the best way to do that is come and be here and highlight the local women who are doing it. And again, I just want to say, please go to the magazine, read the amazing article that She Means Business wrote about the UNLV squad.
So proud.
And I was sharing before we went on about how I had shared that with the team.
Yes.
And they were so thrilled that not only She Magazine but the mayor are recognizing their accomplishments at what they've done in only 2 years. I mean, talk about entrepreneurism.
Yeah.
They built this whole program themselves, and they have all Americans in just 2 years. It's incredible what they've done.
Very short time.
With limited funding and all kinds.
Yeah.
And so that's why, I love to praise, especially young women who are taking, the horns and learning how to develop and advocate for themselves. Because when you and I are old and gray, we know that we've got some women coming behind us that'll have our backs. So I'm very proud of the squad. They've done an amazing job.
Yeah, and you mentioned that part of the proceeds of this event are gonna go to them, right?
Correct.
Yes. And what are they looking to build more? Where do they need more support?
Well, one of the interesting things is the way that, because they're a club, they have to, they travel for tournaments. So they have to front all that money. The airline tickets, if you're in San Francisco, you got to sleep in a hotel, you got to eat. That all has to be fronted. And then what happens is they have to go back to the student organization that runs the clubs and see if they can be reimbursed for some of this money, some of the money. Whoa. So there's always shortages. I don't know. I don't know how my budget was in college. I didn't have a lot of spending money for airline tickets, et cetera, and so forth. So, between equipment, travel, these type of expenses, the money is helping fill that gap.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And really support them and grow. And, this is just coming from somebody that knows nothing about sports. I grew up in a family that it was more artistic than sports. But of course, I had my son and he did baseball, but not in a deeper level. And I feel that I because of my friends that have kids in sports, I heard about, how expensive it can get to pursue that career, right? And whenever they are like traveling, and I love that you guys are coming together. We're all as a community coming together because you guys are coming with me for this event in May 26th, because I feel that we need more of this. I think that we need more of this type of support, that it's doing great things for the community.
And it builds upon itself. I think, and that's why I believe the mayor got behind this, is what she understands is, we hope that everybody that comes to this event and buys a ticket doesn't stop there. Go to the games, right? Get involved if they're selling cookies. Yeah. Buy some cookies.
Easy. There's so many ways to support.
And then go out and vote for people who are trying to fund these sports programs and see the value. I'm all about, I'm a lawyer by trade, so I spent a lot of time in school. Don't get me wrong. Math is important, English is important, all those things are important. But the mindset that whether you just play a couple years of sports or you go on to be a pro will always be with you. That kind of training is a lesson that you never lose. It becomes that auto memory that kicks in. And I really think that having people come out May 26th, meet the local athletes. Some of the team will be there from UNLV. Support what they're doing. That you'll take that back to your high schools or your elementary schools and see that when kids are trying to fundraise because they need to pay for their own ticket or the bus or any of these things, and they're doing a car wash or something like that, you'll get involved. Yeah. Because you'll see how $5, $10 by 20 people adds up.
It goes a long way, for sure. And again, I really applaud you and your team for doing something so meaningful for the community. We are all for women entrepreneurs, and I want to highlight the event that is coming up. So I want you to repeat once again the date, the time, how much it is, what to expect.
Wonderful. So it is May 26th, 2026, the end of this month, in a couple of weeks. Yep. It's at the Autonomous Hotel from 6 to 8. You can pre-buy your tickets at Eventbrite by going to Trending50, a Las Vegas event. You can also go to my Instagram page, which is Renee Marie Smith ESQ, or you can go to trending50.com. You can also buy tickets in any of those locations. The ticket price is $50. It includes, you have drinks, there'll be food, you get the free entrepreneur box, get to meet 7 amazing entrepreneurs from the Valley, right? You get to take that home with you, as well as get the screening. There's, like I said, you get to see some of the Wrestler Her, as well as meet the director, who's an amazing man behind this project, talking about men are involved, right? Supporting women's sports, as well as the coach, who, again, will elaborate on her time in the early 90s as a wrestler and how she's helped support and develop the sport for today's girls. And I think that for the money, you will not only have an amazing time, but you're going to take back to your community a real renewed hope that you can make a difference.
Yeah,
you can really make a difference in lives that will come back when you're old and gray, you'll know who's going to be running your communities and your businesses as a great mindset of leadership and entrepreneurism.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for May 26th and be there and witness this, because I know it's going to be huge. I will love to learn more about the boxes. So we're going to post a link under this video description to the tickets, to the page, to the entrepreneurial box, because we want you guys to attend, support the community, and be part of this entrepreneurial box, because it's a great opportunity for all of us women in business, especially here in Las Vegas. That is the world that we're supporting right now, especially with the magazine. So Renee, thank you so much for being here, for being available, for your words, for everything you're doing for the community. Again, I really appreciate you and admire you. Your whole story is beautiful. So thank you so much.
Well, and the opportunity I really appreciate, because you have a very popular podcast, your magazine is very successful, giving this a platform for change, for the better, for all of us. And I can't say how grateful I am to be able to be part of it with you.
Thank you so much. You guys, you have to go to shemeansbusinessmag.com and read about the UNLV team and everything that is happening in the entrepreneurial world here in Las Vegas and all over the place, because, guys, this is just getting started. And because of women like Renee and because of women like you that are watching, that are supporting, that are collaborating, this is why this movement is growing. So thank you again, Renee. Thank you again, all of you, for watching. Don't forget, our new magazine is out, shemeansbusinessmag.com. My name is Jacqueline Andrea. I'm the publisher of She Means Business Magazine. We'll see you guys in the next episode of the She Means Business Magazine podcast. Hasta pronto. Thank you for watching. See you all in the next episode of the She Means Business podcast. Hasta pronto.